Third, and this is The View with Catherine Chang. Today's topics are prosecutors detain 5 legislators and one party chairman for bribery, and Belgian engineer in Taiwan. First, I want to talk about prosecutors detain 5 legislators and one party chairman for bribery. There were 5 legislators and one party chairman in Taiwan have been investigated over bribery allegations. Secretary General to the President Su Jiaquan resigned, as his nephew Su Zhenqing, a DPP legislator, also faced charges of corruption. And what bribes were they taking? Well, these involved the operating about the battle of the well-known Sogo department store. Well, Taiwan prosecutors raided a legislative office last Friday. It involved DPP, KMT, and the New Power Party. Even former President Chen Shui-bian was brought up again because of the Sogo voucher. President Tsai held a press conference today and announced that the former Secretary General of the National Security Council, Li Dawei, become the Secretary General to the President. There are several points. A, surprisingly, legislators took bribes to amend the law, according to the prosecutors, in order to take over the ownership of Sogo. Businessman Li Henlong paid the legislators and requested them to amend the company law so that the Far Eastern Group chairman Xu Xudong will lose the right of management. Well, the market value of Xu Xudong's Far Eastern Group has reached 623.3 billion NT dollars, and they have Asia Summit Corporations, Far Eastern Department Store, Sogo Department Stores, and Far East Chong Telecommunications. And the current suspects include DPP legislators Su Zhenqing, Chen Tangshan, KMT legislators Chen Chaoming, Liao Guodong, and the chairman of New Power Party, Xu Yongming. B. DPP legislator Su Zhenqing is a nephew of former Secretary General to the President Su Jiaquan. Isn't the name familiar? As I mentioned before, the KMT accused them of bringing the officials of state-owned enterprises to visit Indonesia in 2017 without noticing the Taipei Economic and Trade Office in Indonesia. But they denied it and claimed that they visited in 2016, not 2017. And now, legislator Su Zhenqing is accused of taking like 20 million NT dollars in bribes, and his uncle Su Jiaquan also resigned from the position of Secretary General to the President. C. About a New Power Party, 时代力量 also went downfall. The New Power Party has risen up because they were supported by young people during the Sunflower Movement in 2014. The chairman of New Power Party has suspected to take 2 million NT dollars for bribes. And what a disappointing scandal. The current party chairman has been replaced by Qiu Xianzhi for now. D. Why does the former president Chen Shui-bian involved? Well, it is actually because of his wife, Wu Shuzhen. When competing, taking over control of the Sogo department store in 2006, there was a rumor saying that Xu Xudong had brought a laptop to Wu Shuzhen's house to convince her, and Li Henlong gave her the voucher that was 2 million NT dollars, although the case was not prosecuted later. I think the bribery scandal might grow bigger, but I really appreciate what President Tsai said today. She said, if you want to make money and get promotion, you should go elsewhere. And she also emphasized that the ruling team should not break people's trust. Second issue I want to talk about, Belgian engineer in Taiwan. CECC head Chen Shizhong stated that a Belgian man in his 20s who came to Taiwan for work in May has been tested positive on July 29 before he returned to Belgium. And the people in contact with the Belgian man rose up to 310 people from 89 people. The same question is, where did he get the infection from and who infected him? CCC announced that there are 5 locations that are mandatory to wear masks, including when in elevator, cram school, moving theaters, study room, and KTV. Here are the top stories. Today we have 0 confirmed cases. Talking about the Hong Kong issue, we know that Hong Kong issue arrest warrants for 6 overseas democracy activists. And the 6 are Nathan Law, Luo Guancong, Wei Chen, Chen Jiaju, Hawks Lau, Liu Kang, Simon Chen, Zheng Wenjie, and Ray Wang, Huang Taiyang. Also, an American citizen living in the United States, Samuel Zhu Muming, was also on the list. And they are wanted on suspicious of secession or colluding with foreign forces, crimes the new law punishes with up to life in prison. Hong Kong democracy activist Nathan Law comments on that. He said, I have no idea what is my crime, and I don't think that is important. Perhaps I love Hong Kong too much. Regarding the postponement of the Hong Kong election, CNN published an article, and the title is, Hong Kong is setting up a postponed election without a real opposition. And they wrote, Hong Kong's decision to bar 12 pro-democracy candidates from standing in power, and now is kind of postponed elections, has raised serious concern over whether genuine political oppositions will be tolerated following the imposition of Beijing's new security law. And they also wrote, there are echoes in this for the proposal put forward by Beijing in 2014 for how Hong Kong should choose its leaders. The Chinese government said that all Hong Kongers would get a vote, but the Beijing will control who stands. That is ridiculous, right? And beside that, the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and White House condemned Hong Kong poll delay. Pompeo published a statement and said that there is no valid reason for such a lengthy delay. It is likely, therefore, that Hong Kong will never again be able to vote for anything or anyone. And White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany said that, she said, this is only the most recent in a growing list of broken promises by Beijing, which promise autonomy and freedoms to the Hong Kong people until 2047 in the Sino-British Joint Declaration. Moreover, we're talking about Germany suspended Hong Kong extradition agreement after election delayed. German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas said that we have repeatedly made our expectation clear that China lives up to its legal responsibilities under the international law. The decision is another infringement on the rights of the citizen of Hong Kong. On the other hand, top foreign policy advisor to Biden, Antony Blinken, warned in a Bloomberg TV interview that China may next seek to change the status quo in Taiwan. And he said that if China is getting signals of impunity, then one's concern is it may think it can do the same with regard to Taiwan. Biden would set up defenses of Taiwan's democracy by exposing Beijing's efforts to interfere. The irony is Taiwan has been a success story over the last decade in terms of how the U.S. and China have handled it. As tension rises between U.S. and China, CNN published an article, and the title is Taiwan Could Become the Next Flashpoint in a Global Tech War. And they wrote, the world is becoming increasingly dependent on a Taiwanese company for the most advanced semiconductors after a stumble by rival Intel. But, the fact that TSMC is helping the U.S., kind of shore up its chip-making capability and also could upset China. So TSMC is trying to pull off a high-wire act by keeping both China and the U.S. happy at a time of rapidly escalating geopolitical tensions. So you can see what happened in the world and in Taiwan. Well, a lot of things going on. So we will see what will happen to the legislators, what they will detain, and see what will happen for the sentence. Maybe we will have something new coming up. We will talk to you tomorrow. And this is a very big deal in Taiwan. This is The View with Catherine Chang. And you have a nice night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.